Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Shem, Yahweh Shai, Shem, Ruach HaKodesh. Double honors to our venerable apostles and others of great millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to the Lord's elect, the house of David. Right, so Brother Haran coming back at you with a quick drive-in talk, impromptu. Lord will be edifying and uplifting to the elect. All right, and just meditating on something that happened or is happening, all right, currently, all right, in my life personally, all right, and I just wanted to convert it into an epistle, not so much a testimony because whatever is going on is not done yet, but I just want to share something, which Lord willing it be edifying, like I said, because sometimes brothers go through certain things that we all go through at the same time. And sometimes you might be sitting there wondering like, yo, what's going on? Why am I going through this right now? Why is all these things happening to me? Right? Right? So sometimes you go through things and you wonder like, damn, like, you do everything right, and still things go wrong, and you wonder like, damn, like, what's up? Like, you know what I mean? What's going on? What's wrong? What's up? Right? But sometimes the Lord, right, he's building you up. Okay? He's rebuilding you. He's setting you up for something greater at a certain time. All right? It's like you go through your ups and downs, right? Your personal life, your personal walk. Sometimes you get hit with a lot of different things. But always remember what Yahweh Shai said, right? Because your worldly battles, it just builds you up more in the spirit. Because your worldly battles, you deal with them, all right? You overcome those worldly battles by maintaining spiritual. Okay, always thinking spiritual, always, remembering the elements to win and never lose, right? Which is faith, all right, patience, okay? Those two things you can't go wrong. Faith, patience, right? Of course you have hope, but faith and patience are the two, all right, battle armaments that you need whenever you go through some hardships, all right, in this world, all right? But remember what Yahweh Shai said. I might not be able to pull precepts because I'm using the other phone for a GPS, but Yahweh Shai said that don't cast your cares to the affairs of this world. All right, but make sure that your mind, all right, is in heaven. You're thinking more heavenly. You're thinking heavenly thoughts. You're thinking spiritual thoughts. Right? You're questioning, but you're answering at the same time because it always goes back to the spirit. Right? What is the Lord trying to show me? What is the Lord trying to do here? What's happening here? What does this all mean? Right? Sometimes, I was talking to my brother about this yesterday. Sometimes we ask for things from the Lord, and when they happen, or when they are happening, we start bugging out like, damn, like, why am I going through this? Well, you asked for this, right? You asked for something from the Lord. So when he's doing it, the act of going through that pain to be rebuilt is not fun, but it's very rewarding if you're able to, follow through, maintain patience, and keep your faith in what the Lord is doing for you. You're going to overcome. All right, you're going to overcome, and you're always going to say, Lord, like, I see you working. Things start going in your favor now. You see? So sometimes you might have your own timeline, right? Especially when you catching hell, you want the hell to end like right away. So you're not right. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have the mindset to endure. That's what the scripture says. Endure. Okay, because ultimately endurance is what's gonna get you to the finish line. In any race that you run, if you don't have endurance, you can't get to the finish line. All right, you gotta get to the finish, and you have to have endurance. We're talking spiritual endurance. Okay, spiritual endurance. The Lord will give you the physical endurance, but you gotta maintain that spiritual endurance. All right, when you go through the downsides of life, whether it be your job, all right, whether it be brothers, whether it be a woman, right? Sometimes women get to the seasons where demons hop on them. But it's not really hopping on them because they just demons. No. It's there as a part of the test that you're going through. It's like it just happens at a specific time. It doesn't happen all the time. But at one time when you're going through your shit, that's when this is all happening. You got to understand why. Okay? It's like all hell's breaking loose. Like everything that could go wrong is going wrong. There's a reason for that. It's not by coincidence. It's not by chance. It's by design. Okay? And those who are built to endure that, they'll prevail. And they will turn back and thank the Lord and say, Lord, I'm so happy that you increased my faith. I didn't understand at first when it started happening, but as it kept going, and I kept, being patient and really watching, I saw that your hands was at work. All right, and even in the moments where I felt like you were forsaking me, right, I call upon you and I'm not getting no results like I normally do. I'm like, damn, Lord, like, are you still dealing with me? Like, oh man, like, did I do something wrong? Like, did I go off? Did I say something wrong? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but sometimes it's not just the Lord chastising you, because we do go off, right? We do go off involuntarily. We go off. So sometimes every now and again, the Lord will buffet you as part of cleansing you for the going off that you was doing. Sometimes you do go off without even thinking about it, involuntarily. And then sometimes you catch yourself and you're like, shit, like, oh man, But that's all a byproduct of being in hell. You can't, there's like a lot of things that we wish we could control. And if we had the ability, we will control, right? We will control, but we don't, we can't. So we do it to the best of our ability. That's why you got all these other camps that be talking all that. You got to keep the law shit. It's like, not law shit, but you got to keep the law, shit that they be talking, right? That salvation is going to come through you keeping the law and all these. It's like, that means if that was the case, then you're not going to get no salvation, right? You ain't getting nobody's going to get salvation because nobody can keep the laws 100%. You can't keep some and leave some, especially when you get the Sabbath wrong, right? You don't know what the MOTB is, all right? Because your congregation going to end up taking that MOTB, and that's a commandment that they broken right there. That's why they're going to get that judgment by fire. That's death, okay? So it's a sin unto death. So, hey, think about that. It's like any other law that's a sin unto death. Think about that. All right, but going back to the point, when you're going through your lows in life, right? Like I said, whether it be your job, whether it be your woman, sometimes it could be health. Like out of nowhere, you're just catching like this weird ass sickness. You're like, what the fuck? Like, and you keep battling, you keep trying to fight it. It's like, yo, why is this thing still lingering? Like normally it's like 2-3 days. I'm kind of recovered. I'm back to myself. But this is like a week, 2 weeks. It's like, what's going on? Like, like let go of me. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like, that's the Lord doing that, right? He wants you to seek Him more. Sometimes the Lord will throw certain jabs at you to make you want to, come back at Him. Lord, like what's going on? Da, da, da. You start. Your actions are a lot more balanced and weighed when you're catching hell. That's just how it is. That's why the Lord wants to get you to that point. And once you learn that lesson, you notice that suffering that you're going through, it just gets lifted off your shoulders, just like that. Just like that. Right? Whatever you were waiting for, whether it be a job, out of nowhere, you've been applying, right? You're not getting nowhere. You keep getting no calls. Like it's like, man, like you want to give up. Like damn. And you keep praying to the Lord. But guess what? A job that you might think is good for you, the Lord sees already 1,000,000 years ahead. So He's like, no, this job isn't good for you. I'm not going to give you this job. Right? I'm not going to give you this job. I'm going to give you the perfect job that you've been asking for, but you just don't see it yet. That option isn't there yet. So you're compromising. So He'll hold you up. He'll take care of you while He's holding you up, but He'll hold you up. And then when the perfect job comes in, you just get it just like that. You'd be like, damn, I've been applying, I've been going for interviews, I didn't get no job, but this was the one. This is the one. You see? It takes time, but you get there. See? It takes time, but you get there. And you get there at the right time. Perfect time. Because it's the Lord's time. See? So, when you go through those deconstruction moments, right? You got to tear down. When the Lord tears you down, He'll build you back up. Right? He'll build you back up stronger, make you perfect. See what I'm saying? The tearing down part really shouldn't be something, oh shit. tearing down part shouldn't be looked at as, oh, I'm being torn down. Like, damn, I'm getting beat down. Oh, man, I'm in the mud. Like, I can't, you got to be cheerful in that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, the Lord is chastising me, but, yo, he's making me better. He's sharpening me up. He's cleaning me up. The parts that's, like, lingering, that's not good, he's cutting that away from me. That's how you got to look at it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta look at it that way. Once you look at it that way, because that's what it is. Once you look at it for what it is, boom, everything changes after that. Everything changes after that. Man, brought me up here today. Everything changes after that. Your mindset changes. You're in alignment with what the Spirit is showing you, with what the Spirit is doing. Boom, everything changes. Your focus just shifts. You go from lingering and bugging out and stressing and all this extra shit, right? Worrying about it, to now you just in cruise control. Now you're going about whatever it is that you got to do because the Lord got it. That's it. And when the time comes, you're going to see him moving and you're going to be like, ooh, shit, Lord. Yeah, there we go. And ain't nobody could do that but the Lord. You see, these are the perks that we have. And when we serve the Lord, man, when you're a servant of the Lord, you get these kinds of perks, right? You could go somewhere and get something back, something divine that the rest of the world can never get. They don't have access to that. That's why they stay going to churches every Sunday and they never get rich. You know what I'm saying? They always giving money. They never get rich. They never get what they go to church for, which is riches. Like, that's what the practice is teaching. They're telling you all this get rich schemes. God gonna make you rich this year. It's always rich. Like, damn, like, what about salvation, bro? What about that part? Isn't that what the whole game is about? Right? What's that? Proverbs 11:4. Right? Riches profit on the day of wrath. Right? But righteousness delivereth. Okay, from death. Right? So you should really be in the mindset of looking for salvation, deliverance. Not no riches. It's good to be rich, right? It's good to have money. But what kind of riches do you want to really have in these last days? You want to have those spiritual riches, right? The earthly stuff, yeah, that's cool. But that's not going to get you nowhere. Besides it being a defense. But hey, scriptures also says wisdom is a defense. So really, you could use those riches to aid in your way to salvation, right? Whatever you could do. And do it well. Whatever you do and do it well. So it's pleasing unto the Lord. That way you can receive that salvation. That's the end goal. And everything else will come after that. But just keep that in mind that we're here as servants first. You know what I'm saying? And as servants, the Lord takes care of his. And he's done it many, 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 many times. So there's no doubt, Isaiah 65, there's no doubt that the Lord is going to do it again. He says, and servants shall eat, right? We shall not be thirsty. We're going to be fed. We're going to be good, right? We're going to be good. And that comes with faith, all right? Faith that we're going to be good. Faith in Yahweh Shem Yahushai, in his words, because his words are faithful and they're true, okay? So when he makes a promise, he's not a man that he should lie. When he makes a promise, he will fulfill that promise. It don't matter if it takes 1,000 years. That promise will be fulfilled. That's what we're seeing. We're living it. Okay, we're living it. We're finally back to knowing our God again. That's a that's crazy. That's crazy. We actually are back with our power. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. See? We can call upon him and things happen. Yeah? We can call upon him and things happen. Things happen. Alright? So, yeah, man. He's going to keep on doing that. It's going to be more evident. Just watch. You're going to start seeing the Lord put his hands, alright, on the men of Great Millstone on down. And you're going to just see the power. The hands of the Lord on his men. You're going to see the power. Because a lot of people don't see it. Except for the elect, really. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else is just messing around. They finna find out, though. They finna find out. The clock is ticking. The clock is ticking. They finna find out. But always remember this, man. We made a deal with the Lord. Lord, we're going to serve you. Yeah, even if we're taking L's right now, we're serving you so that those L's can be W's in the time when we need it to be W's. Right? When you're catching your L's right now, just keep on building. Keep on going. All right? It's going to be W's when you really need them to be W's, man. Sometimes you be wanting a W, but you don't really need that W. You could take an L right there. You could take an L right there and just hold on. You know, it's okay to take L's because the W's are great, right? So always keep that in mind. Like, we can't be on some shit like, oh, always you just happy when the Lord do things for you, but when you going through your shit, it's like, oh man, like nah, you gotta stay cheerful. It tells you like the book of Ecclesiasticus. All right, the 2nd chapter, it goes into my son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. All right, and whatever is brought upon thee, all right, take cheerfully. All right, when thou art brought down to a low estate. All right, keep your faith, keep your trust in the Lord, and He will make your paths right. Roughly paraphrasing. All right, but that's the point. When you go through your low estate, is to build you up into a higher state. Okay. So never shun the deconstruction before construction. All right, never be afraid to go through the deconstruction before construction. You have to do that. When you're renewing something, you gotta tear it down, right? For those who build homes, constructors, contractors and all that, right? Those who are into construction, brothers that might be into construction, when you go into renewing a home, right? Typically they tear it down and then rebuild it back up. All right, so before the tear down process, you look at it, you be like, yeah, this thing needs to be torn down, right? We can't patch it, we can't fix it. We gotta just tear it down and rebuild the whole thing, right? And then when you tear it down and you look at it, you're like, damn, like, that's sad. Look at this, right? You're in a sad, low state, just like that building. Then you get into the foundation, you redo all that. If it's tilt, slanted, whatever, redo all that, whatever, right? Yep, that's it. You redo it, and then boom, you set up the new structure, and now it's done the right way, how you need to get it done right. Like, wow, this is like you put your own touch to it. So now it's nice and clean. You're looking at it, you're like, yeah, that's good work right there. From what it used to be to this, wow, it's a complete difference. It's a new building. People who used to pass by, they look at it, they be like, damn, that's that house that was. Yeah, that's that house that was. Yeah, yup. Damn, like who lives in it now? Who touched this? How wish I did. See, he rebuilt this house. See what I'm saying? This tabernacle. See, and then he came and dwelt in there. He knocked on the door and we opened it, and he came in and he supped with us. So he rebuilt us, right? So he could come and dwell with us. Because this home, before we met Yahushua, this home all of our homes needed renovations. So he had to tear us down, and that new man came out. Boom. Right? And that new man met Yahushua at the door. See? So we followed after Yahushua. He came in and he supped with us. He came into our home. He sat in our house. Right? In our minds, our tabernacle. Right? After he had reconstructed us, built us back up. Right? Made us a perfect vessel. And then he came in and supped with us. And then boom, we received it. And now here we are. Right? Here we are. To the point where he's like, all right, now you got it. Now I'm going to give you my precious word to go out there and teach the rest of the elect. You see? But yeah, man, it's a beautiful story when you really look at it. All right, we're inching closer and closer to the end of this. And we're about to see Yahushua's glory. All right, yes, the day of the Lord. We're about to see Yahushua's glory, man. All right, his glory is going to be one man, what a day. What a day, man. Woo, what a day. And we're fast approaching that day, man. All right. But yeah, I just wanted to share that real quick. I got a long drive, but something that was on my mind I wanted to share. My brothers, you might be going through whatever you might be going through. All right, you're not alone. Sisters, you might be going through what you're going through. You're not alone. All right, we all going through certain things during certain seasons, right? But ultimately, the Lord is the one who's in control of all things. So you keep your faith in Him, and you're going to be good. You're always going to be covered, man. All right, you're always going to be covered. But anyway, I'm of the Lord when you're edified and informed. In closing, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahushai Ba'Hashem Ruach HaKodesh, Duwadi Yah Ba'Hashem Yashad on 6 times. Shalom.